Good morning, YouTube. So I've moved quite a few of my African violets outside from the house, so I thought we'd have a little look in the house and see what houseplants are left, and I will do my best to name them for you, but I'm not always good at remembering the names. So, looks a lot different, doesn't it? No, it does not. I don't know, I seem to produce houseplants from nowhere. Even though I've got all those African violets outside, I've still managed to fill the racks. So let's have a look what's changed. So basically, I used to have a bookcase here, a wrought iron bookcase that matched the baker's rack outside. So obviously I've put that outside in the orchid house now. It's got the mounts on it, so I've just put these tables here to put a few plants on. This area here is for sort of plants that can cope with a bit more shade. So in this area, or not shade, but less light, shall we say. So in this area, we've got my pretty pathetic staghorn fern down there in the pink pot. It's lost a few leaves when I first got it, but it seems to have... sorry, I'm wobbling about. It seems to have stabilised quite a bit now. Behind it here in the glass dome, I've got my little mossy hill, which seems to just keep going and going. Above that is, some people call this a hare's foot or a rabbit's foot fern. Whatever you call it, it's doing really well. I'm really pleased with that one. It seems to like it in the house. It loses a few of the fronds, you know, over the winter, but they come back again, it shoots again, so that's good. Next to that, we've got my little terrarium, which has got a few ferns in it, the button fern, etc, etc. No maintenance on that, literally shoved it in, gave it water occasionally. It now sort of, it's got its own little environment and it's just recycling, but the glass does need a clean, so I'll do that soon. And then in the front here, we've got, I call them Pila, I think that's the right name. There's a few different ones in the genre, and they're quite nice actually, because they've got quite a nice sort of texture on the leaves. And I don't know if those are flowers in there, but can you see? Could be new leaves. But it's quite a nice plant, and it doesn't mind low light. Come on, focus. There we go. And then here is the fig tree or ficus, whatever you want to call it. That one's doing well. They don't like drafts, so I've got the fan, when it's on, is not pointing directly at that particular plant, because it really doesn't like a draft. So nothing's changed in this corner. Got a rather pathetic looking peace lily. It's brown like that. I'm 100% sure it's atmospheric conditions. I can't keep the humidity up in here because, as you can see, when the new leaves come out, they come out all nice and green and really nice, and then they promptly turn brown and get crispy on the edges. So, you know, it's not a lot I can do about that. Below, we've got another low light plant. They quite don't mind ivy, don't mind it in low light, so that's that one. And then we move over to the racks here. On the racks, I've got my Sarracenia, I think that's what it's called, picture plant. I've got the curtain drawn back there because it doesn't have any pictures, and I was told it's probably because it hasn't got enough light. So we'll see if that helps. But it's a lovely, good specimen. I mean, it's grown away lovely. Right, so moving along, on the bottom shelf here, I've got my, this is Paphlopedilum Shirleyana, I think it is. That's doing okay in that little case, so that's good. Then along here, this is a heated tray, so I've just got all my baby orchids in there and a couple of African violets that I'm trying to put down leaves. They're doing all right. I mean, they're not growing massively. Some of them have got new roots, like the Oncidium one here is doing okay, and some of them are okay, but you know, they're not thriving, shall we say. So up above that is some more Paphlopedilums. They're doing all right. They could be having too much light there, in which case I will move them out into the orchid house soon. In fact, I might well do that today, because now it's heated out there. There's lower light areas. I think they'll do better out there, and it's better humidity. Moving along, Phalaenopsis. Now these are, I bought a pack of 6 babies. Although there's 6 on here, one of the babies died, so this is a different one that I bought separately. So they're doing quite well actually, considering they've had 2 bouts of mealybug, and yeah, they weren't doing that well when I first got them, but they seem to have picked up now. Touch wood, they do better. And then above is my Phalaenopsis, so they are shooting. I only covered these last week, so I won't go over them too much, but they all got spikes coming on them, and more Phalaenopsis at the top with more spikes developing. Moving along to the next rack, again, more Phalaenopsis with more spikes, and then next rack down, more Phalaenopsis. What makes you think I like Phalaenopsis? More Phalaenopsis with more spikes. And then the next rack down, we've got Maidenair Fern. This, hopefully, is not too bright for this. I think Maidenair Ferns can handle a bit more light than some of the other ferns, but if it is, I'll move it. In the front here is a Gardenia. So I'm hoping that one's, I've never really had a lot of luck with Gardenia, but I saw that one and it was a reasonable price, so I picked it up. Hopefully it'll be all right. Behind the Gardenia is what I call a goosefoot, which is like a mini bright coloured one. Next to that is the poor old Purple Heart, which when I moved it off the rack, the black bookcase behind me, it broke. It's broke so many times, the poor thing. It's doing its best, but, you know, if it don't come, you know, if it doesn't do anything, I'm not too worried, because it's not a particularly handsome plant. And then right down the bottom here is my poor, sad Begonia Rex. I have no idea what's going on with them. I've read and read and read about it. I'm not giving them too much water. I'm not giving them too lesser water. I really don't know. These two are the side and the front here. So this one and this one over here were doing very well when I bought them, brought them back. I don't know. So they don't get a lot of light down there, because they're down below the window. They get a little bit of light coming in from the right here, but I don't know. I've read that they, in some cases, because this room can get quite chilly at night when the heating goes off, so they could be going winter dormant. So I'm just waiting to see. I will give them to the end of summer. If they don't do something by then, they're all going. Right, so right opposite that rack, we've got this little table stand here. Couple more Phalaenopsis doing really well. They've been flowering for months and months. Very happy with them. They seem very happy in their pots. And this is one my son bought me for my birthday, which was April the 5th. And that one's still flowering really well. So that's good. Right, so got this little sort of open terrarium here, which is doing okay. The little goosefoots coming away nicely. There's a red mini Phalaenopsis here, which is just producing a leaf now, which is good. And then in the front here is the baby's tears. Excuse me a minute, I'll just get the phone. Right, sorry about that. You know, I only get phone calls when I'm filming. Anyway, back to the baby's tears. So like I said, it's cascading lovely. It's beautiful and green, but I notice it's gone a little bit brown along the top here. So that's fine. I mean, it still looks pretty nice, so I'll leave it in there. And beside that, we've got a Phasahedra, which I call umbrella tree, which is doing well. That's getting bigger and looking good, so I'm happy about that. And then down below in that little glass container there, that's what they call a piggyback plant. That's all the name I know of it. I'm sorry, I don't know its actual botanical name. Next to that, we've got a gorgeous succulent. I've had this succulent for quite a while, actually. I don't think it's got an individual name. No, it's just succulents. But I've had this one quite a while, and I really, really like this one. It seems to do really well down there. So that's great. Spare empty container. Oh, see another plant coming. So forgot this one at the end of the rack. This is what they call a fibre optic grass. So can't really see it because of the light. But I've actually got one outside that's growing in the pond. So they like quite a bit of water. So then over to here, we've got the spider plant, which is doing exceptional. Again, this is another one that gets a little bit of brown tips, atmospheric, because of the lack of humidity in here. And then behind it, I've got another peace lily. Again, nice green leaves as they come out, ending up with brown yellowing tips. Just can't help it. Just got to live with it. In the front, I've got like a green coleus. That should have more leaf markings, but I think it's lack of light. So, but that's okay. Next to it, I've got this. I'm not sure what this is called, but it's sick. I'm just going to leave it for a bit longer, but get a bit of light. There you go. It's slowly dying back. It's slowly losing its branches, and like I say, it's gone brown like the others, and I'm pretty sure that is lack of humidity. So we'll see how it copes. If it carries on dropping thingies, you know, its branches, it's going. Then over to here, we've got a Hoya. I've had this Hoya a little while. I bought it secondhand off our auction site. Doing well, looking great, growing nicely. Seems to like it there, so that's good. Below that, I've got a bromeliad. That's finished flowering now, but I've kept it because you keep them because they grow pups and you can propagate from them. Onto the racks now. So this particular plant here, I'm sorry, I do not know the name of this. I know they've got one in the Botanical Gardens in Christchurch in their hothouse, and it comes out in purple flowers, and it's gorgeous. It wasn't getting enough light, so I've brought it to the front here, and it may be one for the greenhouse along with the violets if it doesn't flower this year, but I've had it a couple of years and it really has failed to flower. So moving along a bit further, we've got Sansevieria there, always doing well, really tall one, goes all the way up. And it's shooting, you know, it's just got a brand new shoot coming down in there. So that's good, does well. Christmas cactus, holiday cactus, whatever cactus that is, because that is continually flowering. Not profusely, but continually. So that's really, really good. In the front here, I've got two amaryllis. So they're just Amaryllis hippeastrum. I think one's orange and one's red. So I'm hoping they'll shoot soon. That's just my scissors and snip bucket. Down the bottom, let's get down on my knees. Oh, God. I've got another coleus, a red coleus there in the front. Hopefully you can see that. Not doing exceptional, but it's doing all right. Sorry, it's a lot of backlight here. Then over there, or in here, this is another one of those. Oh, it's got a name. There we go. Come on, focus. Focus. There you go. So that's what that one is. That again was looking very dry, but I'm trying to spritz it every morning when I remember, but I can't just, you know, keep spritzing indoor plants because it's not good for in the house. This is another peeler, I think it is, and this one's really pretty. It's got like a funny looking pinky leafy flowery thing there, which is quite nice. In the front is a blue strepto, and then in the front there is a variegated peperoma. So I've had that one a while and it's doing well. So moving along again. So then the bottom here, another streptocarpus, which has always done well. These are called Carancio, I think Calancio, doing well. Not sure what this is in the front. Doesn't really do anything, but just stays lovely and green and sort of curly like that, so I like that. This, I'm not 100% sure what it is. I've lost the label, but it does lose its leaves in the winter, so I thought it's just pretty neat. Another Calancho there, and another type of goosefoot there. That one's quite a nice specimen actually. I really like the markings on that one. Up above, I've got baby African Violets, a couple of air plants, African violet leaves, which are just, can you see the babies there? Baby there. And another African violet there, which the babies have come up, which is great. In the front is what I call a devil's ivy. And then here I've got what they call the, this is a hanging streptocarpus. Now I did buy that as a replacement. I lost the one in the shade house, in the orchid house. So that is a replacement. I overwatered it and then it got a bit cold, I think. Right, so next shelf up. I've got to get up now. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure what these are, but I think they're another type of peeler. Because they've got like the same sort of leaf. So there's a red one there, and then just over here is like a grey or greeny one. You see that? Still got a couple of baby African violets in here that are doing okay. What we got in the front? Oh, that's Queen of Hearts in the front there. So that's doing quite well. Is it Queen of Hearts? Yes. Oh, Chain of Hearts. Chain of Hearts. This is something that did die back and it looks like it's shooting again. So that's good. And I am Purple Plush. So that's what that is. So that's getting a second go in it. Then I've got my red shamrock. Oxalis, I think that is. Love that one. Flowers all the time. It's doing really well. I'm really, really pleased with that one. I love that plant. Then I've got my lipstick plant here, and then another peperona there. Above that, we've got the African blood lily, which is doing great. I've got no ID succulent in the front there. Another calancho there. I think that's how you pronounce them. They all got flower spikes on them. My big ponytail fern next to it, which is doing great. In the front is another type of Sansevieria. Not sure what. I don't think it's got the mother-in-law's tongue. No, it doesn't have the type, but it's a different one than the others. And then I've got this one, which is doing really well. That's growing really, really well. And that's what that is. Not even going to Eleganta Temusia, I think. Oh dear, I do mess these names up. I'm hopeless at it. So that's that one. And then moving along again to the last rack, we've got another Sansevieria there, which is doing well. Another peperoma in the front. Seem to have a few of these, but they do well. I've had that one a while. Then I've got the prayer plant, which is doing okay. Below that, what have we got below? So I've got another goosefoot. Got quite a few of them, haven't I? Jade plant. And then in the front there are two, so just there. Let's get a closer look. God, I'm wobbling about, so sorry. So here is a sort of like really nice sort of succulent, baby succulent, like tiny little leaves. Another one there, they're different. And this is Hippeastrum papillon. Saw Rachel's on Garden Ectuenza, loved it, got a bulb, and it hasn't flowered yet for me, so I'm hoping it's going to come up this year and flower for me. And then last but not least, we have my bride's veil, which is really, really long. Goes all the way down and comes up. So yeah, so that's the plant room. So for somebody that shifted out all those African violets, I seem to have, come on, focus, seem to have quite a few plants in the house still to look after. But that's okay. So, forgot this great big goosefoot on the table. So this one I've put on the table because it's such a big specimen. It's really, really healthy. It's grown so much since I've had it. I'm really, really happy with that one. So I thought it affords its own little area. So I've put it on the table. Because anybody comes, I have to remove it because we can't see to talk above it. So, but yeah, I really love that one. So anyway, I see I'm coming up for 20 minutes. My goodness. Right, so thanks for watching. Please like or dislike and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.